next week, Monday and Tuesday, are going to be very critical. So we're going to want to polish some of the important things, especially when concerning to CVs as well as interviews. So I'm just giving you a bit of that hint and what you guys can look out for. So for those of you, this is me. That is my face. I'm just mindful of my internet. My laptop has been very slow. So when I use my video, it takes a lot of bandwidth. And so it will make me slow in my presentation. So that is me. And this is the Work Readiness Bootcamp, a professional development course to set you up for success in any work industry. It doesn't matter where you are. So it sets you up for that. And so we've been up and ready. We've been up and going through some modules. And so I'm just going to skip through some of those modules and I'm going to continue where we left off. I'm gonna try and sometimes repeat myself in order for other people who have not been here to catch up on what I've been talking about. So I'll try as my present my slides. I'll try and echo what I said on the previous days. So moving on, and so by the end of this bootcamp, these are some of the things which we want you guys to be able to go out with or to have or to take with you, is to identify resilience mechanisms in order for you to see that you can able to bounce back and able to practice 2 professional conduct practices. Develop 2 success habits, minimum, minimum, I say max though, or minimum between, but at least those 2. Make your time work for you, which is your personal contribution. You need to have that. Put up effort. That's what we want. Create an ATS compliant CV and email responsiveness. So enable for you to respond in a manner that is professional when it comes to CVs, especially when it comes to jobs. Develop good interview skills, and that's what we're going to be providing you in this. So I'm not going to go throughout the stats. So we've talked about resilience. In this case, that will be it. I'll be sending this slides at the end of this boot camp, and so everyone can able to go back and look into what we've been doing. So I'm going to share the slides with you at the end of this boot camp. And so we spoke about professionalism, which was very key in this past 2 days, or yesterday as well. And so we talked about that. And then most importantly, we talked about success habits. I touched base on some things and here's some of those topics, which is delivering work on the standard of work, self-motivation, proactiveness, high IQ on the job, which is really important, managing your thinking, which is your thoughts, and how you think, how you set yourself. And so we've been able to talk about those things. And here are some of those, and then we ended up with effective communication. How do you communicate effectively? And so these things are very important when you go into the world of work, or when you are even inside the world of work, when you're already. And so, but you might be missing some traits which are very important for you to develop. And so I'll be sharing these for the people who have not been with us from the start, that was, I think, Wednesday or Tuesday already when we began. And so tomorrow, we're not going to have a sessions. I'm very cognizant of Fridays, and I think, but maybe by the end of this today's session, you guys can also give me an indication whether I should, because 16 is just around the corner, and maybe you might need some things which I might need to touch on. My last slide of this was health is wealth. If you keep up your momentum, keep up with your momentum, you do these practices one day at a time. One thing which you're going to find yourself is compounding. Uzosibona ezizinto working towards your benefit. Zizakunceda to getting to your positions that you want and getting into that space of work. Zizakunceda setting up, especially now we're talking about these immediate opportunities which are coming. And so I want you guys to bear in mind with that. And so today I'm going to dive into something else. So I'm going to skip through some of my slides today. There's some one particular section I want to get into, and so as we go on, we're going to see how that will work, and also I will just touch based on those things. And so here, time management. I want to begin off with this slide. Uh, so time management is something very important, and so we're going to talk about time management principles. So I want to to say that about when people hear the word principles, it's like those are core, core, core guiding values, like key stuff that you need to apply. It's not entirely everything, but it's just some key parts that which you need to apply. And so that's where the word principles come in, things which you fundamentally need to apply, like as a foundation. You understand? Isn't as a foundation. Attitude towards your time. It's very important. And there's others isn't was Kolula. I think even us people, even in the work industry, time is something very, 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 very sensitive and very difficult to maintain. I know, trust me. So your attitude, firstly, is important. Your mindset about time affects how you use it. How you see time, it's how it's going to affect you. So if you prioritize it, it's going to give you different treatment. If you're going to be a lousy on it or have a lousy attitude towards it, the result of it will be lousy as well. So it's very important that we take a very cognizance of how our attitude, behavior towards time is. Goals, knowing what you want to achieve helps focus. Don't really know if you'll achieve it by the end of the day. You want this job. At least you want to be have had at least about, let's say, 5 applications throughout this week. You're setting up your goals, knowing what you want to achieve by the end of it. At least putting up an hour on my application, revamping and looking at my CVs, putting up an hour to apply for those jobs. What is your end goal? What do you want at the end of the day? So at least say I have an option of 10 out of 5 out of 10 options. I've been able to at least send out my 5 options. Priorities. Not everything equal is equally important. So we need to go we need to look into what works for us. Okay, not really what works for us, but in this case, prioritize what is important now. Which task can I do now? People who are in the jobs already, prioritization is important. And so we need to be very cognizant about those principles are important for us to apply. Prioritize your time. Not everything is equally important. What sends out signal to you? What is important to me right now that I need to attend? Understand? And so as a result, what do you want to achieve? So ibalulekile that we take that into consideration. And as I move on, I'm going to touch based on just this. I'm just going to move on. I'm going to come back to these. So first of all, I'm going to skip my professional ethic. So I'm going to touch based on this one because we might just have a longer session for this one. But I'm going to continue with this one again sometime over this week because I'm very cognizant. Next week, we're going to start with Monday, Tuesday, and probably Wednesday because I think on 16 is on the Thursday. And so for people at least to catch up, bias back on that one. And so so here's a definition. We're going to talk about CV here now. I think people should take up their notes. Take up your notes. I'm going to give you time. I'm going to try to explain some of these things a lot more carefully. And then I'm going to take you to a platform where which I like this plug and Tetangayo, which will be very important. And so I'm going to touch based on Ezinyizinto, which I've skipped, which will be important and how you can follow up through this platform as in prison Telayon. And so I want people to take notes here. I'm going to be dwelling a lot on this one And then obviously I'm going to follow up with what's next as well. So a CV is your personal marketing tool. What makes a good CV? Let me start asking that question first. A CV is your personal marketing tool. It tells employers or partners who you are, what you can do, and why they should consider you. Why should they consider you? That's a very important question. Why you are so special? Even if you don't have much work experience yet, a well-crafted CV can still make a strong impression, a very strong one. If you are intentional about your CV, remember what it said? I'm going to go back to that. It says it is your personal marketing tool. How do you best market yourself? When? How do you best market yourself? So, selling yourself basically to the employers. You know, I'm coming up with some sales techniques. Some sales techniques. How do you put yourself up front? Your brand. How do you make sure it is visible? You understand that you will be identifiable. Uzabonakala. You understand, and that is important. And so I'm going to touch based on some of these things, and then I want questions, I want comments, I want us to have a conversation around this discussion because it will be very important. So, number one, clear and simple layout, especially for beginners or for people who are looking for job, who are applying for jobs, and this is their first time applying for jobs. For people who are recently school leavers, this is this is very important for you to take note. Clear and simple layout. Employers scan CVs quickly and make it easy to read. Make it easy to read. So do not use fancy fonts. Not use fancy fonts. It won't help you. You understand? So your layout needs to be simple. Even if you're getting layout elsewhere, of money template elsewhere, make sure that the template you are using, it's easy to read. The employer can able to scan through your document. Actually, it needs to be inviting, you know, nicely neat and put in simple layout. And most of the cases, do not look for those CVs where there's pictures and then you want to show your pretty face. Those things are not necessary. And why I'm saying it is not necessary, it might also disqualify you. Let's say that that particular picture is not appealing to the employer. You understand? It is not appealing. Maybe they scan through and see, hey, this one is trying to buy us. You know, as any employers is able, like this one is trying to buy us by our face, top notch makeup, it's all on standard, and then like, but on remember, these people are on the other screen, and so the perceptions could change by just looking at the layout of your CV, and so you don't want to set yourself for failure immediately by just a scan through process, just the scan through process. They haven't even looked into your qualifications yet. They haven't checked nothing. And so a clear and identifiable CV, it's very important. I hope I make sense there. Number two, your personal information at the top, and that needs to be there. So there's a certain way I use, like for me, like you usually have your header. Like if you're using your Word document or even your Google Docs, there's a particular section there I think most of us maybe might know. If you don't, just let me know. I don't want to assume that we are all computer literate. And so a personal information, usually it's not something much, but we're going to touch based on it again on the platform of which I will show you later on. Your full name, your number, your professional email, and location. Like instance, South Africa, Cape Town. Not your address at number 99 Tokwane Street, Fuleni 7100. No, you put up your location where you are at. Either you can either say from there in that South Africa example, like you put up Fuleni, Cape Town. You don't give specific address. You never know where you are applying. You are applying to a scam. There's a lot of scams out there as well. And so, London, you need to be very careful. The information you put out there is very sensitive. So, like I said, your full name is your full identity name and your surname. Tandukolo Chebese, you put it out there. You put your number 078. If maybe you are applying, let's say it could also differ in this case, you're applying for a UK based company. It's always wise for you to put your country code, like your +7 +27 code, I mean. And so that is very important. And then your professional email. And here I've got a problem a lot of people do not know, that it is also a disqualifying factor when your employers are looking for at your CV. When your email should include your name and surname, or at least an initial of one, like maybe puts your initial of your surname and then your name. If maybe you have had other emails prior or before, and then it might just recognize it. But your full name and surname on the CV, it's nice. It's a professional one. That's what it means, professional. Name and surname at gmail.com. You understand? Or maybe if it's you have used that email before, and then you can just add your number. It could probably be something like something which you remember. Tando Kolo Chebese 02, or Tando Snazo Chikela 93, whatever the case may be. Just but your name and surname is important for you to include. Any other information, your ID numbers, it's not necessary in this case. Like I said, you never know where you're applying, so which we're gonna come back to that part where people need to do thorough research of where they're applying, like verifying this company on different social media platforms, or internet websites, on Google, and then you check on Google whether this is a company exists or not. We're going to talk about those things at the later stage. So, but now I'm giving you this basic information for you to apply immediately. And that's what is important. And then what you can put underneath in your personal information as well is your LinkedIn profile links. If you have a link on profile on LinkedIn, you can just put in that, because employers would like to check up on those platforms. And then you can just state your language as well, which language you are proficient in. And then you can state that, because language is important. Number 3, I hope I make sense there. Anyone usually find questions around personal information? Any questions there before I continue to the other sections? Leadership, you can just help me with hands if there are hands. And then I can just answer. If I'm just going to allow for a minute before I continue. Any questions? Am I still audible, leadership?
You are still moving in the right direction, leadership. I think you can proceed.
Okay, thank you. If then also people, if ever you feel like I'll go comfortable for yes, Apiwe, you have something to say?
Sorry, leadership. Can you please be? Don't be fast because I don't hear you clearly. I hear you, but you are very fast.
Okay.
Apiwe,
Yes.
we are recording the session, so I'm going to share the recording in the groups once we are done here. So do not panic too much, right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Ndiabulela, Mr. Sobua. Yes, then you can always go back into and check what I've said. Okay. If there's nothing else, I'm proceeding and I'm continuing. Okay, thank you, Apiwe. Number 3, PS stands for professional summary. Yes. So that is a professional summary. You understand what is just below your like if you are doing it in a header format, like the personal information which I told you about. So usually when I say people must use the footer, so that's nicely, it's all that information is just condensedly there, it's just over there, and then, but there's also some basic templates when people can just do a normal, which I'm going to show. And so, and also the platforms which we're going to be showing you, they're also going to be assisting. So below that, or if ever you're going to have a CV that has a lot of personal information, like the basic one, just to fill it up if you don't have make much experience. A professional summary is important that sits above, that introduces you. So a short paragraph, 2 to 3 lines, depending on the experience, max it will be about 4 lines, about who you are and what you are looking for. Example, motivated and reliable high school graduate seeking intern opportunity to develop work skills and contribute to a dynamic team. So, as you can hear from that example, it's about who you are and what you are looking for in this case. And so, motivated and reliable high school graduate, that person is clearly stating that I am new in this working industry. You understand? I am seeking an intern opportunity to develop workplace skills and contribute to a dynamic team. So that sets a tone to the employer. The employer here understand that, okay, this person is of this level or of this nature. You understand? Okule level, and this is what he is qualified. This is what he's able to do, and this is what he's looking for. You understand? So immediately, so from that tone, the employer is not expecting much from this candidate of experience. You understand? So Lando already iyamnika employer, but okay now, but I want to also see some qualities of which he mentions here. He says motivated and reliable. You understand? But you can obviously include more juice into that. This is an example. A high school graduate seeking intern opportunity to develop workplace skills and contribute to a dynamic team. So this is very important. But if you are well experienced, you put it different there, which is, I'm gonna show you an example of my CV. I'm gonna show you some example of my CV that I have drafted, but also what will be important is the CV platform, which I'll be going through with you, which is gonna touch based on some things, and some it doesn't touch, based of which I have done my analysis. But I've also have other platforms which I'll share with you, which would be key. And so number 4 in this case is skills section. And then I'm going to have the other remainder of minutes. I'm going to go through the platform of which I'm going to be showing you. So I'm going to go quickly through this one. We have skills. So you mention your skills there, your soft skills as well as your technical skills. Banazo zombie, you need to have both. Remember, Kakulukas in technical skills, we are moving to a technological advanced society. And so technical skills are important. Uba uzu demonstrate, uzbonakalisa that you are able to. So teamwork, that will be soft skills. Communication, into ezinjalo, that will be soft skills. And your technical skills will be things like Microsoft Word or typing or AI. In this case, you are AI competent or proficient. We state you understand that all your technical skills. I'll share more about technical skills. Education, lastly, education, school name, studies, when did you complete that, and the year you completed it. An example there, I've shown you Netomen High School, completed my NSC, and you can just include it so that you're specific. National Senior Certificate 2012, you put it out there. You don't, on education, people, I want to say this lastly, before I go into this example. I want to say is that on your education, the courses which we are presenting to you, that is education and training in that header. Education section, you can put education and training as a header. You understand? So you put izinto ezifana nezi courses ezi-introducers, like I've done a course on Zlato about conflict management. You've passed it. It's a short certificate. You put those things there. That is part of your education and training. Not only because Abandaba needs to have, they will only have grade 12, put his scholars about their grade 12, and then that's it. But you are doing other mini courses and certifications in between. As was into we as include, that will make your CV more impressive. You understand? Zonke izinto sithetha ngazo about Zlato, the opportunities that are there here in SK Academy, put up those things. I've done training. You understand? And then you put up references of those people. Those people will be called, and then they can confirm that yes, this person has earned the certificates. And now when you receive those certificates, you download those certificates. When they say attach your document, you attach along those certificates to prove what is into Ozenzi. You understand? So don't be only limited to school, high school for the new school people, even for the people who are already in the jobs. Remember, you also developing yourself within MCBs in work. And so the minor things you're doing, the little education or courses you are doing, include them. Have your updated CV always. So what I understand as well about SNA companies, they do reviews of people's CVs. What has this person, what more can this person do for us as a company? What more can this person deliver us? And when you include those trainings, for example, these AI courses of leadership just mentioned, I think 2 days back, a day ago, those things are important because then the employer can say, oh, this person is very technically savvy, meaning he's good in when it comes to tech and technology. So we can include him or her in other departments. We can use his assistants. What does that mean? It means that now you are now escalating yourself. You are presenting yourself at a whole different level. If you are presenting yourself in that manner, then obviously salaries will come and be adjusted, and contracts will be adjusted, and all of those things. Questions, people? You see,
Later, I think there is a comment from Oprazooks Abba. He's mentioning that people can actually download their CV from this NATO platforms. I think that is important. And let's take Usnokolo. Usnokolo, you can come through and speak.
okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Okay, I want to ask Linda, like you must include all those certificates ozenzayo. So khona this thing endiyenzile like le nto yakwa-Coursera, le Microsoft what nale business analysis, but do I include them in my CV also?
Yes, most certainly. You include those things. Ndithetha ngezo courses ezinjalo kai. You understand? And
Okay.
for as far as I know, Corsa is from Microsoft Office, or Google, ne? Yes, I
Yeah.
think it's a Google course, which is great. And then Google is identifiable company. So you include those
Okay.
things.
Okay, just that I wasn't sure if are these the real ones, because like abantu bathi bana bazenze like for 2 hours, but I just spent like 12 minutes there. Like I understand it's like it's 12 questions, and so yeah.
Yes,
Right?
leadership, you want to indulge in that?
So my perspective is that it's all about confidence. Ingaba lento uyifundileyo, can you apply it? Like, okay, that's a computer in real time. Can you apply what you learn? if you do have confidence that you can apply it, then don't be afraid to include it as part of your CV, because that is part of your achievements.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mhlekazi. Also, in the comment section, you just can note a message from Uzugile from Zlato, emphasizing about that you can download your CVs or download your impact CV as well there, which is important. And so, in 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 that said, so we're going to continue off again in the following week, which is on Monday. But what I'm going to introduce to you now, I'm going to be showing you something else. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and then I'm going to go to this platform of which we recently did our analysis on. And I think from a worker, from a work seeking perspective, this is important. So, can people please mute? Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
It's visible, né? Thank you very much. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we this is the plug which we are talking about. So this plug over here is it's from NetBank. So it's called Move Up. So there's some interesting features as well on it, and so which I believe you guys could use. Very interesting, especially I think coming this the 16th of April. I think there are certain job industries that would be very key for you to look into some of the those things of which the jobs. I mean the jobs which is being included here. So I'm gonna log in now. I'm just trying to log in quickly, and I don't.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, yes, you can go ahead, my
Okay.
leader.
Oh, I want to ask you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Ask.
Can I speak now? Okay. In your CV, how many experience you must put? How many experiences?
How many experiences that you must put in your CV?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's
I
say
think so. What I would say is that in your CV, max your CV should be 2 pages, not more than 2 pages. So in the work experiences that you include, there is all the latest ones. You understand? And then if you see that you do not have enough space on that, because remember, you also need to leave room for people when they ask you for interview space. When they ask you more about what you have done, you can just always label or reference back to those things if they correlate with what you applied for. You understand? If ever they make sense of what you applied for, and when it comes to an interview, you can answer those questions. But keep your CV to a max of 2 pages if you have a lot of experience. You understand? But if not, you don't have much, keep it to 1 page. Just keep it to 1 page.
yes, I
You
do
don't want,
understand. But in 2 weeks back, I was doing.
okay.
I was doing a computer course. So my the that oh let
And go kakuhle ma'am. Hello. Leadership, can you assist me? I can't hear.
Oh, it's my network. It's fine. So I was doing whatever. My it's my
Continue the over.
it's fine. I said in 2 weeks back, I was doing a computer course in Philippi Village. So that lady said you mustn't put more than 3 experiences. So that's why I ask you how, because you did work on maybe on 5. You have 5 experiences. So how can you don't put that experiences?
Okay. So like
Do you
I
hear me?
said, it also depends. So like I
Okay, can I
On
answer
what you
this
are
one?
applying for?
Okay,
Can
leadership,
I
can you go ahead? Because now the better
can I
network,
simplify this one?
and I want you to,
Some,
leader.
yeah.
Then afterwards, could you share your screen and then you can take through this move up because
Okay, move
my
up.
screen is slow. Yes,
Okay, no problem.
sure.
So this is one to answer you, ne? You can take down your sharing lead. To answer your question, let's say you are applying for a job in the restaurant space, and you have a work experience in construction, you have work experience cleaning, you have work experience working in the restaurant. So you have all these different types of working experience, sometimes even working in a hospital. So that means if you are going to be applying for a job that is call center related, for example, you are going to need to find a work experience that is related to this field. So you are going to have to look for jobs that are customer centric, like where you speak to customers. Let's say if you are working in a restaurant, let's say you're a waitress, that means you can put that up because it does count as customer service. We're able. I think my sister was speaking around that. However, I don't believe you can limit your work experience, but do so for the sake of your CV not being bloated with too much information. Just put the relevant information and tailor your CV for each and every job. Don't send the same CV from different jobs. So now I'm going to share the Move Up platform on my side, guys. So yeah, as leadership mentioned, that this platform is created by NetBank. I'll just log in quickly. Yeah, I did not even ask if my screen is showing. Okay, is it showing?
Your screen is showing, leader. And
Okay,
what I want, one thing I would like for you to go through, my leader. Could you skip the CV part and can you go to the part where it has the call center industries and stuff like that? Because
okay.
since Sukile just mentioned the plug on
No,
CVs.
no. Let me not skip it because it's very important as well, guys. You have these options here. You have a smart CV. So here you just put on your name, for example, your surname, your gender. I'm just going to make it brief, right? I'm not going to do all of this. Manbeli 2000, ithini na inyanga zama-2K. Mandithi 2000. Ndizothi ke ngoku 14 apha. Ndiye ke ngolo hlobo ne. So once you've put up all this information apha kule natsika kule CV, do I have an option to save at the bottom? I don't have. What I can do, if mhlambi I've uploaded information on my profile, a profile which is my personal details, name, or whatever is needed with CV, then my strength, then technology. So I have an option to download this, right? Yenzeka ke nasefonini le nto ka-Move Up. I can download it, but don't download it until you are done like listing zonke izinto. So what is interesting ke ngale platform is these courses. Remember next week in the table, la 1,000 job career day that is going to be taking place in Athlone. So for that to be covered in that, let's say you have not worked in call center industry, or you have worked. So you are going to come here with courses and come to the part ethi ICT, right? Then ke ngoku apha ku ICT uleqa phi? Uleqa kule ndawo ibhale call center operator. Remember you've never worked with call center, and you are going to do zonke ke ngoku ezi modules. You have different modules from good manners to determine the issue to resolve. You cover zonke ezi module. Once you are done with these modules, automatically le experience or whatever it is that you are going to be learning here is going to be automatically uploaded to your smart CV, meaning that it's going to be uploaded up. No need for you to upload additional courses that you'll be doing kule platform. But ke ngoku whilst usangena kule platform, what you need to do, you actually need to fill up zonke izinto necessary apha. So it's going to make it easy for you, especially now that you are going to go to laa ndawo where there are going to be jobs. So it means that this will give you an added advantage, right? Because ngoku if awunayo experience call center, but you do have a course that you took that is call center related and is by Move Up, which is recognizable by Nedbank, you can ignore even the nanatsika nala logo yabo, because at the end of the day it's evidence that le CV yakho awuzikhanga nhloko izinto. You took them from Move Up, which is credible by now within the working environment. I don't want to dwell too much kule platform. So next into endizayenza, I'll just share the platform again. Pies group here, so that you can do it at your own time and just prepare your CV if in the meantime. And again, I don't even want to talk too much because this is not my session. By the way, leadership, I'm going to leave it like this. If there's anything maybe that I'm missing, I'm also cognizant of time. I don't want us to be more than an hour in this session. I believe that if we can open up questions from Abantu, and we'll just speak about next week. I also have an announcement after that, but let me hand over to you, leader.
Okay, Ndiabulela Mhlekazi, thank you very much. You were right on the spot about this platform. Thank you. I do want to also say one thing I've picked up on the platform is that just be mindful of. But one thing one thing I saw, it doesn't be mindful of the ID number. You understand? Because it gives you, and then when I print it, because I did print it out, I tried it out by myself. And so also in the education part, but to leadership also emphasized now, but just for the high school leavers, recent high school leavers, just note there, it doesn't necessarily say it doesn't include the national senior certificate, but it says certificate, and then you can always mention below in other sections what certificates were you referring to. So just pick up that. Also, there's a limited set of skills. You only have a max of 3 options, so you just need to be very cognizant which skills are important to you, as well as your technical skills, which is your technological skills. So you only have a max of 3. And so I think maybe when you do more of those other courses, I think it will automatically compound to new skills. So as you're going to be exploring more into the platform. So just a heads up on that. But other than that, that will be it on this platform. Thank you, leadership, for that brief explanation. And ladies and gentlemen, there's like I said, I skipped a lot of other items which are very important, and so there's also an interview part, an interview stage which we have not set yet up. So we're gonna set up of all of that. That's the sum of the content which we still need to go through, and they are very important, especially now in this age of hunting down onto jobs opportunities else everywhere. And so these other modules of which I've left out, are very important. Like your email etiquette, as you saw, we're going to be focusing on those things, especially when people are going to be sending emails to these jobs. And so we're going to be talking about those things. We're going to reiterate on some of those things. And with that being said, we are just an indication we're not going to have a session tomorrow. I'm cognizant of Fridays, like I said. But Monday again, we are back at it, as well as Tuesday. I think then from Tuesday, I will just hear if people just need a bit of one push for Wednesday before Thursday for the Cape Town people, for people who are in Cape Town. But other than that, I will just hear in overall, and then I will tell you about future developments or more opportunities like this boot camp or this learning space that I'll be hosting. Other than that, that will be it for me. Leadership, you said you wanted to say something.
Yes, leader. Yes, I wanted to say something, leadership. Guys, let me first begin by congratulating you guys. It's not easy. Uba abantu babelapha babe beziqhelela uzibukelela uzalo ngalamaxesha, andiyazi noba nindikolele ndigqibele kudala nobukela i-TV, andiyazi noba udlala ngabani uzalo. But this is evidence that nyani, you do want to see a shift happening apha ebomini bakho. And we've spoken about the opportunity which is upcoming ngalalosine. So that means we are sharpening you for that opportunity. And again, in between that, there are other opportunities as well. Today, and I mentioned, I think close to 40 people have managed to, it's either they got an internship or a learnership or a permanent job during the period, cohort. So that means there are fruits is come ezibonakalayo kule nto siyenzayo, asibuyinalize. And I'm also confident that next week when you guys go out there, you are going to come back and means I have that confidence. And I'm also praying, as I am praying for you guys to secure these jobs, because kunzima ungabi namsebenzi, guys. I know from personal experience. With that being said, guys, let me just share a quick opportunity. So okay, ilapha ku-WhatsApp. So sizaba ku-Tech Career Expo, which is going to be on a Saturday. Address is Cape Town, A57. Yeah, naso start sakhona. But I'm going to share this napha group in. And I'm going to share also the RSVP link. If you feel like you are going to be able to travel to a Cape Town Galemini, please do make it, especially if you would like to work in tech, because kuzabekho abantu abazabe bethetha nge-cyber security, abanye bazawuthetha nge-networking, mna zabe ndithetha nge-digital marketing. But ke ngoku is going to be a jam-packed day where you are exposed to careers that are in tech, and yeah, just expanding your horizon. Enye into ebalulekileyo when you are searching for employment, okanye mhlawumbi uyasebenza but you feel like there's still more out there, you need to attend such events so that you can network, because awumazi lo mntu uhlele kwakho who you are sitting next to. Because abanye abantu emisebenzini, they don't enter through ila normal process you apply nge-CVs. They get in there and get connections, and they will only one of the few ways to make connections and powerful ways is attending this event and networking and just making yourself known and just making yourself curious. So that is my take, guys. Otherwise, I'm really proud of you that you've this far. So in those again, we'll go next. I'm just going to share details of the event apha groupini, and I'm going to share a voice note. And yeah, you just RSVP. I think the address is a corner form. Otherwise, I'm really pleased. Yeah.
Okay, we have a hand. Thank you very much, leadership. Esihle, I'm just going to give you some time, and so we can wrap up. And also, I'm going to just read some comment from Zukile. It's just a sort of like a boost. Let me read that first, and then we have Esihle, and then we can close it up. So, Uputu is saying that traveling to these places cost money. Do more courses on Slato, and buy Golden Arrow bus rides. And so that is a encouragement and a push, I believe. And so, yes, Esihle, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Malweni, everyone. I wanted to ask regarding Lendoya Saturday. Because I think I did RSVP, but I didn't get an email or anything to say bana they got my RSVP. So I don't know. No, but again pin in the RSVP now or what?
Inkosi kakhulu ngalo comment sisi. I'll just remind the organizers to respond to your submissions. Thank you for that.
Okay, great. Anyone else? I'm just leaving it to one person. We call into just banning that is sitting.
I think in leadership, I think Uprazux highlighted a very important thing that you can actually purchase rights in case awunayo imali yokhwela to attend our event, in case awunayo imali yokhwela to go to a athlon Saturday, you can earn ezi by attending as workshop and taking as screenshots. Remember that is just a reminder, guys. Ungabe unansika overthinker ikhona indlela.
Okay, thank you very much, leadership, and to everyone. Ndingathathanga ixesha lenu elingelinye. Ndiyabulela kakhulu for you guys being here. Love the support, like leadership mentioned. From me to you guys, we're going to win. This is what you're going to be doing. We're going to win. Sizawina. You know, bathanda bengathandi. We're going to be knocking on those doors, and this is a professional when we come there. When we get a knock to those doors, it's a professional.